Okay, Boje, when is your next project coming out? And if you're to record with any of these two great talent, whom are you going to choose to record with? Kuami Eugene and Kidi.
Oh, I don't work with any of them. I don't work with any of them. But I'll play Kuami Eugene or Kidi's song at my wedding. I wouldn't work with any of them not because of hate or something, because it's not my style. Immediately I work with, the best that I can pick out of the two is Kidi. Kidi is very good on the low frequencies. He has a heavy voice on the low frequency that you can mix it with, Chris Brown stuff and all that. But with Kuami Eugene, he's more like a local vibe. I'm not saying he can't do foreign stuff. And I think I'll play his music on my wedding, or maybe somewhere that you can have Afro music. I will jam with it. But as my album, I think the best I could use is Kidi, because I could let him sing some choruses that can really portray stuff.
Okay. This man is the one who produced it. Boje bit. So you can actually hear it. So production, if it's ready, you let me know that we'll go and get it, then we'll come back to the conversation. But before that is ready, who you have been, you started music, way back, on campus and all of that. But in your own knowledge, your experience, and everything you've known, who started rap in Ghana?
You're taking back to like history of music.
Yeah.
Okay, I could say, what's his name? That old man, he's in his 60s, or what's his name?
Jedouble Ambule.
Ambule. I think he started rap. He started rap.
Reggie Rockstone is acknowledged as.
Reggie Rockstone is acknowledged for giving it a brand name. He made it a business. He's the reason why people are finding rap music to be lucrative in the market now. But the question you asked me, who's the first rapper? And I think Ambule was one of the first rap, and he was mixing it with High Life. And Reggie Rockstone came with a, we used to see a plan man back in the 90s, remember that? Then he said, I call this hip life. So that was in the categories now, and it's making a lot of money for people. So Ambule started, that's what I know. Ambule started rap, and Reggie Rockstone took it to the business level. He made all the boys you see today make a lot of money from rap music.
Right, so I see. Now, before we even come onto the conversation proper, let's get a bit into your days at Presec and how you were able to recognize the rest of the talent, JSO, and put it together, what you were able to do on campus.
Presec was more like, it was a ground for freestyle. Like, that is where I realized being the hottest MC is not what you wrote in town, because I could pick, in Presec Legon, you could pick somebody from Accra Academy. You could go home and write a lot of punchlines. Writing a punchline is so stressful. It's like you got to think, it's poetic. Hip hop is an art. But when I was in Presec, the craft we mastered was off the top freestyle. And that is something difficult, but if you practice every day, you're going to be a master for it. So there were a lot of MCs that we were facing in other schools back in the days, the Shaolin monks and all that. They could come with all their punchlines, and after 1 hour, it's a hip hop battle with like a lot of people around. After 1 hour, then their lines are finished. But the Skillions, we practice the master craft of off the top freestyle. So that's where we started knocking them off. And that was all from Presec Legon. And I think JSO was the one who blazed the trail for us to understand that hip hop is not just writing all the time. It's supposed to be part of the culture of your daily life living. So Presec, that's what I learned from Presec. And apart from the academics, when it comes to the music of hip hop culture, it was all about off the top freestyle.
So since then, how have you seen the growth of hip hop?
It got to some equilibrium in Assem and Ochame Kwame time. And I think the only difference was it was still in the language of tree, But today, 2020, from 2018, when the Kwesiates and what do you call it, medical and all that came on board, trying to join the bridge from Pidgin English with English and tree, I think we are getting closer to the limelight of hip hop. And we're not trying to represent hip hop like black people, but I think Ghana is trying to represent hip hop with Afro instruments. And I think we're on the right path. We're on the right path. A few years to come, people will come down to see from the diaspora down to Ghana to check out what is good in hip hop when it comes to Africa. We have a whole lot of story to tell about our histories and how we party and how we go up and down with our stories. I think hip hop can express in Ghana.
So currently, who would you say, or which artists would you say are doing hip hop
In Ghana?
in Ghana?
This question. I believe EL was a hip hop artist, but he went commercial and he did some Afro music. EL is a hip hop artist. Manifest is a perfect hip hop artist. Manifest is the reason why I love Method Man. Way back in Adabaka, he used to rap like this Method Man flow, and he has followed the culture, has really supported the hip hop movement and Manifest. And we could talk about LJ, that's a new young rapper.
Yeah, LJ.
And Sarkodie himself, he's represented hip hop in Ghana, but with the vernacular. He's now putting some English lines and all that. So these cats are people I think on the front line to represent hip hop in Ghana.
Okay, so do you think that our industry, the hip hop industry, is not growing maybe at the space at which it's supposed to due to language?
Yes, I would say that. It's not just hip hop, music as a global kind of music. Language matters, I said it last week. Most definitely. Music has a feel when it comes to emotions. Like, I could listen to somebody from Senegal with the melodies and I'll love it. And that's the end of it. That is the end of it. Like, I love it when it comes to emotions. But if you want to go commercial, you have to communicate. Commercial means what the people want, not what you want. So how do you communicate? That's why I keep on saying everywhere I go that Fela Kuti was speaking English in some of his rhymes and his songs, even though you're hearing the African stuff. So hip hop in Ghana is going to go much further if we have a little bit of English lines in it. And I'll say this everywhere I go. That pick up all the hit songs that you have in Ghana that has traveled outside. It has a little bit of English in it. The ones without English, let me make this clear. The ones without English are having some kind of marketing strategies that no matter what you're going to love it. Like back in the days, we used to watch Indian movies and we loved the Indian sound because it is marketed to us. We had people that came over to the opera squares and all that to sell Indian movies to us. So if you don't have that marketing strategy, the best you can do is to communicate to the world. Because you and I, when we were in school, from class 1 to GSS, we're writing English.
Right.
Tree and Ga wasn't our specific subject that we were writing. So I think for us to understand that Tree will take over, then we have to change everything. I shouldn't see xylophone. I should see something written in Tree with a xylophone. Everything, our drugstores, everything should be in vernacular. But it's too late to go back now unless we start that. So with English, we can communicate to the world.
You have been quoted saying medical is better than strongman.
Oh.
On what basis do you make that? Do you make that point?
Oh, is that? Oh. You see, this question you're asking. Some people are not qualified to ask me some questions, but you are, because I followed you and I realized you ask sensible questions. So I could, if you talk about punchlines, strongman is very good with hip hop. Medical is very good with hip hop. That is not why we're here. We're here to make money out of music. So if I choose one in terms of business, I'll choose medical because medical can do the punchline thing and also do commercial that could bring money to the record label. Strongman can do that more, but he has more focus and he's more having that sagacity of understanding wisdom with only punchlines. He has a few commercial songs. The reason why I picked medical is because of commercial music.
Right.
He could switch to real hip hop. He could switch to the UK grime, and he could switch to an Afro music. I'm not saying Strongman cannot do that. He can do that, but medical has a strong hold with a touch of that, and I think Strongman has to really master the craft of getting commercial music.
So before we jump onto it, I'm told our pastor is ready, but before we jump onto that, in terms of the culture, the hip hop culture, is it when making hip hop, are you looking at the commercial viability, or you're making and addressing a certain societal problem, or being poetic in your song?
Okay, hip hop started way back in the diaspora with black people trying to attack the police with their verbal and their hip-hop beats. So originality of hip-hop came through communication with your pain poetically to the people. So that's the real definition of hip-hop. Before the trap music and all these stuff came merging with R&B. So if you ask me hip-hop is all about saying what you feel. Hip-hop is the baseline and say what you feel. If it's a party, if it's a complaint, it's a poet. But it started way back with the Ice Cubes and the Roots music. Way back, early 70s and 60s, it was all about the drums and say what you have to say. So that was the foundation of hip-hop. But now, hip-hop is more in the commercial way that if you take money that you want to record a hip-hop song today, you have to make sure you follow trends. But you can also do what you want to do, like Kendrick Lamar. He don't do no just commercial sounds. He does stuff that he feels like the old stuff of hip-hop, foundation. So you have to be like halfway commercial and halfway what you represent as a brand. So hip-hop is now more in the commercial world, but it started as what do you feel? Say it through the hip-hop baseline.
Right, so like I said earlier, you actually produce one of the biggest hits to have hit this country. What are your memories about La Paz Toyota?
Okay, Guru. You see, Guru came to the studio and he's a hip-hop artist, like let's say a hip-life artist. And he wanted to get another hip-life song. I think he had a song with Kasiabo and some other songs with Kewa, and he came over with a hip-hop. We started playing the hip-hop beats. I was like, yo, this is Africa. On your album, we have a lot of hip-hop songs. Let's do something that will meet the gap, will bridge what is happening. Like at that time, we had this kind of azonto about to start, but it wasn't on the monopolizing part of the market now. It was just trying to climb up. So I was like, okay, fine. Let's get some drums. I'll play the beat like an Afro beat, but all the samples you are hearing are hip-hop instruments. Because I felt like there's a time for you to join both worlds together. So, and he had a call. I think Guru had a call, yeah. And he was like, made a card remember. I said, yeah, that's the chorus. Charlie, that'll be the chorus.
So that's how it started.
Your man was arguing with me. He was like, oh, no, how about you way across? I said, no, that's it. If you said you get her the car and she's smiling, I think I make the whole world smile. So that's how we got a hook on it. And he went home and I just did the dun, 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 dun. So I'd been in a club and I realized that most songs in Ghana had only kicks and snares. So I was looking for an instrument, if you're a sound engineer, an instrument that could hit the high frequency. So I had that. It's called the TXY. I had that to hit the club. So I went to the club, listened to the instruments. Nobody knew it was the Past Toyota song. And I came back home and I realized that instrument is what I want to use as a bridge. So I came and I mixed the song. And I think that's when I had that new feel of Azonto contribution.
Okay, so this song actually made two things popular. Toyota and La Paz.
Most definitely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just go and enjoy the song. We'll come back and talk about him and